Guys, so this is going to be a little bit of what I call recovery movement. So there's definitely those days where you don't fancy doing a strength workout, you don't really fancy doing mobility, but you definitely still want to do some movement, and this is going to be absolutely perfect for that. So let's get going. We're going to start in what's called a frog base. Feet and knees are going to come out, I mean, as wide as you feel comfortable, right? You don't want to like basically pull your inner thighs, but as wide as you feel like you can get a nice stretch, and then pop your forearms down. And what we're going to do here is just rock back ever so slightly. So some people will, you know, this one, like it just feels like you get a very strong inner thigh stretch. So you might not need to move like too much at all, but it is just a very gentle rock. And this is an area that, you know, we don't sort of focus in on too much in our training. So it's always good to work on those neglected areas. So we're just going to do a couple more of those little rocks backwards and forwards. And then we will bring the knees in. So just so that they come onto the mat, pretty much stay where you are, right? So forearms are down on the floor. Right hand on the side of your head, and we're just going to do something to move our spine, which is the top spine, T-spine. So I'm going to look up to my elbow. I'm going to do a gentle twist. So I'm not really forcing my body to kind of go too far, just wherever it wants to go, and then come back down. And we'll do a couple more on this side. And then just switch that over. Do exactly the same thing on the other side. So hand on side of the head. Look up to the elbow as you twist. And again, we're not kind of forcing it to go too far, just where it kind of wants to rotate to, and then back down. And we'll do a couple more on this side. Beautiful. And then what we'll do is walk the hands forward. So come up from that, reach your hands, nice big step for each one. And then just push down like you're trying to push down into the floor, into the mat. Spread the fingers, and what you should feel is a really nice lengthening stretch through the back of the armpits, upper back, sides, ribs. So just take a couple of nice deep inhales to exhales while you're here. Send that breath down into the back of the body, into the ribs. Exhale through the mouth. And one more nice deep inhale to exhale. Lovely. All right, walking your hands back under, and then I'm going to ask you to come into more of a plank position. So if you curl your toes under, lift the knees, and then push back into a downward facing dog position. And then from here, knees should be bent. We're then going to press both heels down towards the floor, so we straighten those legs, and then bend the knees again. So we're going to go in and out of this one. And what we should be feeling here is that the back of the knees, the calves, the ankles, they have quite a strong stretch. So we'll just press down for about 3 or 4 more. So a little bend in the knees, and then really press both heels down towards the floor. Let's do a couple more. Pressing those. And last one. Lovely. And then from there, we're just going to sweep straight forwards and into plank. Step the right foot to the outside of your right hand, and then from here you should feel your hips stretch already, right? So it's quite a nice stretch for those hips. And then we're going to go back into this position. So we're just going to try and push back. Now you don't have to fully extend this leg here. If it feels like you're getting a good stretch in your hamstring and your knee is bent, that's absolutely fine. But if you do have the capacity to extend that leg fully, then go ahead and do so. Hold it for a couple of seconds, then come back in, and we're going to take the right arm, and we're just going to try and, I mean, I can get my forearm down to the floor, but I am quite mobile. If you're not that mobile, then just wherever it kind of stops, hold it down for 3, 2, 1, and then I want you to reach your hand up towards the ceiling. So we open through the chest, and again, just hold it for a few seconds. Perfect. And then come back down again. We're just going to do that one more time. So push the hips back. You want to feel that stretch in your hamstring, these big juicy muscles at the back of your leg. Don't worry if you cannot fully extend that leg. Remember, just work with whatever you've got, and then come forwards. And with that right arm, again, we're just going to drop it down. We're going to hold it. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And now you're going to have to do that for the other side. So bring your right foot back. If you want to just put your knees down, if it's easier to get in and out of these positions, then do so. So let's come back into plank. Step the left foot to that left hand. Hang out here. So I'm just going to show you with my hand. This is where we sort of feel that stretch. Maybe on the inner thighs, if you've got some tightness there, you'll feel that stretch. So just hold it for a couple more seconds. Now my left side is definitely my tighter side, so I might struggle to straighten my leg. That's okay. So I'm kind of just going to hang out here, feel the stretch in the hamstring, hold it for a couple more seconds, and then coming forwards. And then remember, with that left hand, we're just trying to reach down towards the floor. Again, just work with what you've got. Don't worry if it doesn't look anything like mine. So we're just trying to open the chest. Open the chest. We're just trying to stretch through the inside thigh. So hold that there. And then we reach up to the ceiling. So opening through the chest and shoulders with this one. Hold it for 3, 2, and 1. We're going to do that one more time. So we're going to push back first of all. Fingertips down to the floor. Holding it. Taking a breath whilst you hold. Lovely. And then coming back in. Drop the left forearm down to the floor. Again, just holding for a breath. So take a big inhale to exhale. Beautiful. All right, let's come up to standing. So to get up to standing, just walking your hands back towards your toes. You can roll yourself up to that standing position, and then you're going to set yourself up like you were going into a squat with the toes slightly turned out. You can be a little bit wider for this one, and we're going to drop down into this squat position, elbows on the inside of the knees, and just give them a nice little push. So again, we're just feeling that stretch through here, getting into that squat. And then I'm going to put my fingertips down to the floor, and I'm going to lift the hips up. So stretching through the back of the legs and really letting my spine go, my head go heavy so my spine can decompress and just stretch. And then we're going to go back down. So we're going to do this 3 times. That is once. Elbows on the inside of the knees. You can let your spine round. I'm not bothered about keeping a nice straight spine, so we're just kind of mobilizing through here. Fingertips down, head down, and just let that tailbone come up. Take a breath, and then come back down for the last one. So weight through the heels as well. One thing I didn't say, I see a lot of people bring their heels off the floor. Really try and get the heels to stay nice and firmly connected. Lovely. And then fingertips down again. This is our last one. So we're just letting it again, head go heavy, spine, just let it hang. And then slowly again, just rolling yourself up to that standing position. And we're going to come to the top end of the mat. Just a little bit of work for legs and still opening the hips. I'm going to ask you with your, let's do the right leg first. So stepping back into what looks like a sort of lunge, but we're not going too far down to the floor. So you're going to stay here, a slight bend in that back knee. This hand, left hand on the inside of the knee. And then we're going to reach back. So again, opening and rotating. Things we don't often do in a lot of our exercises. So there's not much rotation, and we definitely need that in our, the capacity in our bodies and balance. So reaching back, hand here, come forwards, step together. We're going to do 5 of these. This is 3. So just make sure you're balanced before you move, otherwise that will be tricky. And 2 more. Step back, hand on the inside of the knee, so I can keep that in place whilst I reach back and open. And 1 more. And reach back. And let's go straight onto the other side. It's exactly the same thing. Stepping back, hand on inside of knee. Reach behind you, open through chest and shoulders, step together. And again, just keep that breath coming in and out. Sometimes when we're focusing on our bodies are doing, we can hold our breath. So just try and make sure that you are still allowing yourself to breathe. You've got 2 more on this side. Good. And last one. Lovely, guys. And then just come into the middle of your mat. Depending on how mobile you are for this one, this is called, don't ask me about names anyway, this is called an elephant walk, right? And it's basically to just get some length and movement in the back of your legs, whilst also in that nice position where your spine is stretched. So If you are less mobile, you can either reach forward and do it from here, or if you have somewhere in the house where you can just put your hands on that's not too high off the floor, you can also do that. But if you're okay to do what I'm doing, we're just basically pressing one leg back whilst the other knee stays slightly flexed, and let the head go as well, so make sure that it's just hanging. And we're just going to do a few more of these, so letting both knees bend, fully extending one leg, letting it bend, and we will do 4 more. 3, 2 and 1, and then we will slowly roll back up to standing. And that brings us to the end of our gentle movement practice. Thanks for joining me, guys.